want you to stand up, go do what you wanna do. Ain't nobody in this bitch about to tell you what you gonna do. Whether you smoke crack, pop pills, or get loaded, might turn on PS5 and wanna chill for a moment. Or hit the streets with a bat and knock some dumb nigga silly. He deserved it, so it's worth it. Swing that bitch and get busy. Whatever it is that will be. Lose your mind, go retarded. Don't even try to slow down. By the time you get stuck, subtle art and not giving a fuck. It was published by Mark Manson. Folks on their deathbed, visit them and start dancing. That shit crazy, best created as a tool for ball seconds. Someone played me, I embraced it strong. I'm using raw weapons in the passion setting. I get Louis him studded, so I bashed his head in with my Louis Vuitton slugger. If it's cash again, no got no pennies for pension. No irrational, fuck heavy decisions. Listen, you could be a bum in the street or nation's ruler in boss mode. Fucking drop those nuclear launch goals. Let you know what together, motherfucker. Hey, let's do it. Extort that red button and put you to press to it. Now the world's on reset. The last one has no regrets. Just a bunch of lunatics that were battling stress through international mess. Down to beef on your block. Giving a fuck long as you're breathing, you're not.
Me. Yo. All right, what's going on, everybody? Tone Space back again. Started off with that dope ass verse that I did on the song. It's out now. Go Retarded on the streaming platforms, all that stuff. If you're into the Apple and the Spotify and all that, Tone Space. Check it out. It should be the latest single. And then I got another joint called Blue Beam that I put out, I think, the day before. Anyway, I'm rehashing what I still find to be a very interesting topic. I don't know why all this negativity and weird stuff has to be attached to it. Well, actually, I do know why, as far as who it's, dealing with, but it shouldn't have to be that way. It's stupid. Anyway, just to rehash. All right, so this guy who's actually in the background with his live stream on now, that's why I decided to come in, because he's wilding out, right? He's talking about some other guy, and he wants to make a point that people are irrational. They don't think, and they just do things. They don't have any voice in their head that helps them plan things out. He was basically, essentially, to sum it up, he was trying to say a lot of people in the world are stupid, and he was likening it to some other dude that he spent over 100,000 hours talking about. Now, who's gonna do that to someone that's irrational and stupid? What does that really say about you investing so much time in that person? But that's another conversation. I don't even care to entertain that conversation, right? But anyway, the point is, he was talking about him, and he said that he looked something up, and he found a study that said anywhere from 30 to 50% of people in the world do not have an internal monologue, do not think in their voice, right? As soon as I heard that, I found that extremely interesting. That's right up my alley. Those are the type of topics I like to talk about, things that involve psychology, the mind, spiritual stuff, the existence outside of this existence that our five senses perceive. I believe our five senses are like a filter to filter out the real world. You know what I mean? But we're not even going to go down that route. I just want to give you a little preface to let you know that this is right up my alley. This is an exciting topic. I like this stuff, right? So, after he was talking about that, of course, that stuck with me. So I went looking it up myself. And I actually even said, I did find one study. The first result that I found, it reflected what that guy said. It said that 30 to 50% of people do not have an internal monologue, do not think in their voice, right? I looked further. Every single other study I said it in the reverse. It said the results were that 30 to 50% of people do have an internal monologue. Now, just as I suspected, because this guy decided to start an argument with me over this, he was stressing the 50% mark. He was saying, well, I said 50% of people don't have an internal monologue. You're saying 50% of people do, trying to argue with me. You stupid, blah, 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 blah. But it's obvious that's not what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about the 50% mark. The range, 30 to 50%, right? They didn't say 50% of people do it, 50% of people don't. They said the range is between 30 and 50%. So more than likely, 50% is not the result of, that would be the actual number. It's somewhere in between that range. You know what I'm saying? Let's say 40%, right? So yeah, let me rehash what I wrote in this community post. I'm gonna show you how I was not trying to argue with this dude, right? Now, when I started it out, right? Basically, I found the thing very interesting, and I wanted to make a poll so I could find out what other people have gone through. And already 5 votes. No one said that they process thoughts without a vote. I mean, without a voice in their head. So far, only 5 people. Please check the poll out, y'all. All 5 people that told their, how they think or whatever, they all said they have it in a voice, right? So that's pretty cool, right? Good to know. Please keep. I'm gonna keep this poll up. But so, I don't rock with that dude. I don't like the dude. I don't fuck with him. And I definitely don't want to keep going back and forth with these battles. Like I said in the last video, it gets boring. So I wanted to introduce this poll, to let people know, like, yo, I looked this up, but I don't rock with him. So I'm not going to say, yo, my man Styles said da-da-da-da-da-da-da. He found this, and I decided to look more into it. I wasn't going to talk about him in a supportive way, but on the flip side, even though I don't like him and I don't rock with him, I didn't want to just dismiss him and introduce talking about this phenomena or this study without giving him some kind of credit. I felt, even though I don't rock with him, I felt it would be wrong if I just said, hey, I looked up a study that said yada, yada, yada. I felt obligated to at least give him some kind of recognition some way, even though I don't rock with him. So I went with this. I wrote, someone recently said something brow raising. That was me acknowledging the dude, you know what I mean? But not, still keeping my distance, not saying, oh, this guy Styles, I be checking him out, he be saying some shit. Nah. So I was actually referring to him out of respect, to be straight up, So I said, someone says something brow raising, that 30 to 50% of people do not have an internal monologue, meaning they don't think in their voice. Essentially, they do not talk to themselves as a means to process thought. Intrigued, I looked it up, finding that it's actually 30 to 50% of people that do have an internal monologue, right? Meaning potentially 70% of people don't think through this process. Now, if this dude wasn't always focused on the negative, he'd be able to develop the big picture. Because in all actuality, I was supporting the message that he was saying. He's thinking, oh, just because I said it's the reverse of what he said, that I'm trying to pick an argument of him or anything. No, you got nothing to do with it. Outside of being the original source that, sparked my interest to look it up. No, but if you would see the big picture, right? Because we're talking 30 to 50% range. So let's just say you're saying more or less that most people do have an internal monologue, but a nice huge chunk of people don't, because you were trying to say people are stupid or they don't think things through or whatever. So that was the point you were trying to make. You were trying to say, yo, there's some stupid people in this world or whatever, right? So you were saying, all right, most people, we have an internal monologue, we think things through, but there's a good number of people that don't. Now, all I'm saying is that no, it's in fact most people do not have an internal monologue. So if we put that in terms of what you were trying to say with your argument, that would support your argument. So when basically I'm endorsing it even more, I'm saying, nah, a lot of motherfuckers don't think things through or don't have an internal monologue. In fact, most people don't. The people with internal monologues are the select few. You see what I'm saying? So, but you're looking at it like it's some type of argument. No, outside of just trying to give you at least a light recognition as to the source of what led me to looking this up, it started and ended there. There was no argument trying to speak or anything like that. I wasn't on that. I ain't on that. I'm still not on that. Right? But then you replied with a community post saying niggas an idiot and this and that and saying and talking about the 50%, but not even acknowledging the 30%. So it didn't even make sense. And now you're just calling me an idiot, just starting shit with me for no reason. You weren't any part of what I was trying to speak about. I was just trying to give you acknowledgement for being the source of me looking into it and then take it from there. I'm interested in the topic. I don't care if what I'm saying is right and what you're saying is wrong. Neither of us did the study, so I wouldn't personalize it anyway. What, just because I looked it up and I found like 8 sources that say it's 30 to 50 that do have an internal monologue to your one source that said 30 to 50 don't, I'm not the archaeologist that went in the dirt and dug that info up, so I wouldn't care anyway. It would be a stupid argument. Oh, I spent 50 minutes more reading about some stuff than you did. That's stupid. I don't care about having an argument with you, B. Yeah, get off that. It's boring. I'm not on it. I don't care. I'm interested in the topic. And even when the other dude that you got 2 million hours talking about, wasting 15 years of your life doing on phone then when he came and said, actually 100% of people have an internal monologue because when you read, you're going to read with your voice. You even took that. See, notice this is the difference of us right here. This is how you could tell the clear distinction between you and me. You took that as an insult. You took that as an attack, like he was trying to get at you and attack you, like as if you just like you just thinking from a victim mentality. I didn't take it that way. I just took it as that's his opinion on the thing. And I don't rock with him either. This should tell you how much I'm interested in the topic itself. Because I don't be responding to that dude, but I actually responded to that post. Why? Because I've been talking to people, real people outside and everything, and finding out how they think and what their thought processes are. And I actually brought that up about how about reading and stuff. Do you hear a voice when you read? People were like, yeah, I hear a voice when I read or whatever, but that's it. So in actuality, that guy brought a very good indicator or a very good marker for people to know what you're talking about when you're asking them if they have an internal monologue. Because I found a lot of people that they don't even have the concept of what we're trying to say as being, excuse me, it's hot, of being people that do have an internal monologue. You feel me? They don't even have a frame of reference. So he actually brought a good simplified way to bring it to people. You could say, yeah, you know that voice you hear when you read? Like, do you hear your own voice when you read? Yeah, I do. Okay, so when you thinking just normal, you don't hear that same voice? You don't hear that voice 24/7? Oh, that's what you mean. Nah, mine is like this, like this, like that. See the difference? You took it as an attack. Mr. Victim, always got to be a victim to something where you're trained in that mentality. I took it as a tool to help build upon the concept. You know what I'm saying? But in general, I just wanted to say real quick, I'm not trying to have an argument. I don't care what you're talking about. Go on with your point or whatever. I do not care. I'm just interested in the topic at hand. And also, I do want to end on this note, and I said it before. Okay, just because that other guy is saying that the people with internal monologues, he's trying to say that other people are stupid. They don't think things through. They don't have the voice that walks them through the steps. They just do things in the moment. I'm not saying that if you don't have a 24/7 internal monologue, that's how you are. I'm not calling out people stupid. Just because I don't understand how I could think without my own voice doesn't mean that mine is the right way and yours is wrong. For all I know, thinking without a voice, you got to think with something, right? So maybe whatever faculties you use to think might be some super genius stuff. So I'm not saying that. I'm not saying if you don't have an internal voice, you a dummy. Not at all. You know what I'm saying? That might be the genius level type stuff for all I know. You know what I mean? So I just wanted to get on that, man. Get off this nonsense, B. Ain't nobody trying to have an argument, come back and forth, this and that. That shit is boring. I'm getting down to the topic. I'm likely gonna talk about this more. And yeah, if you were, man, I ain't even gonna say no more, man. Y'all be easy.